Hello everyone, so we will move further to the directive. We will see how we can utilize this attribute element. If you see this link function, this is the function which this directive is returning. You can arrange the scope element attribute in any way. So while minification, because while we are minifying the JavaScript, they are being replaced with the ABC. I will explain you the complete difference, why the sequence of these three values are important here. So like if you're creating a new controller, right, say dot controller, and the controller name is, you put demo controller, and you put it like this. Now you are injecting something to the demo controller. Dollar inject equal to, you are injecting different things here. Like if you are injecting dollar scope, you are injecting dollar root scope, you are injecting dollar HTTP. Here the sequence matters because function demo controller, you have to use the same sequence while specifying that all these dependency injections, all these injected values in the same sequence, otherwise you will see the error. And with the same name here. Now you can do any kind of operation, dot fire equal to function, whatever you want to do it with this, you can write it down here. Here you see the sequence matter. If you write root scope first and $HTTP later, this sequence should match to whatever you are injecting here, otherwise you will see error. But sequence doesn't matter with the directive here. You can put anything here in place of scope element attribute. You can put A, B, C, but it always treat A as a scope element, B as an element, and C as an attribute. So this is the difference while you are injecting the data, injecting these providers, HTTP provider, root scope, and scope, because these are associated with some kind of provider. HTTP is associated with the provider, so you have to put in the same sequence whatever you are injecting, because this is the one way of writing the controller. You also know another way. You can write it in a different way also, like write share dot controller. I like to write the controllers in this way because it is convenient and it is like a traditional approach of writing a JavaScript. You can write it like this also. Function. Here you are injecting different things, so you have to specify each and everything here. Dollar scope, this is my first thing which I'm injecting. Then root scope. Here also the sequence matters. Dollar HTTP. I will show this in the demo. Now you need to use the same sequence here while utilizing these in the function. Codes are not required here. Only the colon will work. So this will close with this. So this is the opening. This is your function start. Now function is a part of this. Okay, let me stretch this. So this is opening. You have injected these things, and the last attribute is a function. So function opening, function closing, then comma closing, like this. So this is the another way of writing the controller. Scope dot fire, whatever the function you want to write, you can write it like this. So both way are same. Either you define as a controller as a function, then inject individual parameter, then specify those injected values individually. So this is, I mean, this is like a traditional JavaScript writing a function, passing the parameter. So it look good of writing code like this, or you can write a controller like this. So you can use the same approach for the factory or services. Factory name, injected values, like in the controller, you can also inject some factory here. The same factory can be specified here. So this is just another way of specifying the things. So here we will see that scope element attribute doesn't matter, the sequence, but it always consider first element as scope, second as scope, second as element, third as an attribute. You can specify ABC also, but A is always be treated as a scope. This is just a variation with the directive. So what I'm doing here, we have already seen that while you bind it, it will behave like this. There is some error. Okay, I can delete this controller. That is not required. I'm not using it. Empty cache. So here you see this, whenever I'm entering, mouse entering, then I'm adding a class attributes dot over. So this is how we can utilize this third parameter attribute, and attribute over has a value container. So this is adding the container class to this element, and while mouse leave, it is removing that class. So this is just like event handling. Whenever you want to add or remove class, you can do it like this. Thank you everyone.